Alrighty, welcome back everyone. We are back with the next round of Formula BMW, the German one. It's gonna be round 2 of this career mode. Lausitzring is the track for today. Same as yesterday, 2 20-minute races. Few updates. Hülkenberg got a one race ban for the mass accident he created during the Hockenheim race. And other than that, everyone else is on the grid. He also would have qualified last, so it makes no real difference whether he's here or not. It is what it is. And hopefully, hi Jan. Hopefully this is going to go better than the previous round, but that remains to be seen. No guarantee I'm not gonna do anything stupid this time. Yeah, I'll be a little louder. Give me a second. I'm still fixing things, so hopefully this is now better. And the cars will be pretty loud as well, so there's that. I'll probably have to shout through the stream anyways. So for the first race I managed to qualify. Yeah, my mic is boosted to the max. It's the quality of the mic that's not good. Hi Bartos. So I guess that's the best I can get out of the setup. Let me quickly have a look whether I can do something. Oh, that's interesting. So this should help a little bit, or I'm using OBS and that's the mic level maxed out. So yeah, this is the best I can get out of this with this headset. Also, that the thing itself is getting old, so that probably has an effect on how the sound is working, or rather how it doesn't work. But yeah, that's as far as it goes, and it's also maxed out in Windows, so there is literally zero game volume right now. Well, since I have you on Discord, I can send you what the settings are in my OBS right now. So there, Ivana, I just send it over to you on Discord, so you can have a look. Anyways, I qualified first. We'll see whether it's going to last. Idili second, Buemi third, Karjalainen fourth, Hönig Niemela, probably not how you pronounce it, Perez, De Bruyne, Raginga, Vassem, Mitsanek, Summerton, Bowie, Dzikevich, Van der Drift, Hegewald, Vitoris, Cecotto, Gashnang, Onidi, Coletti, and Leuchter. Yeah. Anyway, if it's too loud on the race, then let me know. I can stop it and try to fix it. But in my ears is actually pretty loud, so obviously due to the settings, it's gonna be different from what you hear and what I hear. So without further ado, let's do some racing.
That's a very good start. No lots of change at the end of the first sector. Whoa. So the car got a little slippery for whatever reason. You can start placing bets how long until I make a stupid mistake. But this is a bit dangerous. This throws the car. I should be really avoiding these curves. They pretty much instantly make the car spin if you place a bit more on it.
What?
Fuck off. I even increased the AI difficulty for this race. They were actually pretty competitive in qualifying. But it started the same yesterday and it became a very interesting race, especially on race 2 with a giant pileup. And at this rate, I'm going to spin at some point on that bit. Yep, this is Lausitz-Ring. And Hülkenberg is on a one race ban because of the shenanigans from yesterday. So he's not here. Out of curiosity, I had the bot do the qualifying. He would have qualified last. So the game does absolutely no justice to the young version of Hülkenberg. Yeah, I actually converted the track from R Factor as well. Like, pretty much every track that I have for this game are converted from R Factor. I had to do some fixing because staying on the racing line in Sector 2 told me that I'm outside the track limits. That's on the middle of the road. But thankfully I could fix that and it's working fine now, hopefully. If I start to get warnings for track limits, then it doesn't. Well, this will be interesting. Outbreak me fairly easily. Now I'm starting to get PTSD. That's Karjalainen behind me, the one who spun me yesterday. So
I now need to see which mods I need to install as cars just don't show up when I select series. Yes, that's what I told you when I sent it to you.
that that version was made for the league, so most of the content has been removed. And he hits me again. Yeah, somehow they can break super early, super late compared to me. Like I can't do this.
What? Ah, you mean mod series? Yeah, okay. I understand now.
No, Karjalainen is not Jura. Jura is actually a safe guy to drive against. Well, most of the time he is. Yeah, so he can use the curb. I can't because I'm going to spin on it pretty much instantly. It's unfortunately not the best quality for the track, but it kind of does the job. Also, this is the only version, so even if I wanted to, I couldn't have had another of it. Only other version of I found for this track was actually the oval. But this keeps hitting me. Braking is my brake setup issue, which I left on default because that's a very smart thing to do.
You what? Yeah, bugger off, Ivan.
And hit again by Hönig. I physically can't set the aggression any lower, and it's just... Okay, now I was hit by multiple people. So I'm going to use him as a brake, just for good measure. And he fucking drove into me. Yeah, so much about consistency. Not much I can do if I get wrecked by the AI every single time. Well, that's a 20 seconds penalty for Perez. And with 4 minutes to go, obviously they have to wreck me so late in the race. I'm absolutely not happy with the AI. Yeah, but the thing is that if I cover the outside, then he dives in on from the inside, and it will have the exact same effect. That's P19. Oh, there's one more lap. Somebody crashed into me again. Well, that didn't go to plan. At least I managed to recover some positions and didn't finish dead last. Well, I'll make up for it in race 2. I'm so tempted to just crash into Perez. Yeah, fuck her. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm hoping for. Also, I may or may not have forgotten where the pit entry is on this track. Oh yeah, now I know. Somewhere here. Ah, there's the minimap. So this is actually, I find this a pretty weird pit entry. So, ideally, Karjalainen and Perez, well, Perez will get a penalty for his shenanigans. easily win back time. Summerton, Niemela, Hönig, Raginger, Mitsanek. Thunderstorms. That's really nice. Can you send some of them over here? Because it's starting to get very summer-like here. It's pretty hot. So I could use some thunderstorms and some rain in general. All right, on to race 2. We'll have an okay starting position. So let's go and try to make the most out of it. So on to the next session. Yeah, both of you send those storms over. Send them. Well, you Bartos, you send it to the southwest. Jan, you send it to the southeast. And then I'll be happy if they make it here. Right. Let's do this starting from P4. Hopefully this one goes better than the previous one. Again, a very good start. Seemed like the race before and I immediately go wide. If it gets stolen in Brno. Well, make sure it doesn't. Like, you know, sometimes I miss this about Scotland. It's raining all the time, pretty reliably, so. And that it doesn't have these hot summers. It's actually a pretty good thing in my book.
Yes, I did. Nearly half my life.
In Poland, everything comes from Czech. Now, I can confirm that this is not entirely true. For example, Zubrovka is definitely Polish and it's coming from Poland. Like even the one we have here. comes from Poland. The tanks came from Germany. Okay, that was nice, Jan. That's that that's that was spot on. Jan is the master of politically incorrect jokes. Somebody is going off to the pits. P12, that's the brain. Well, Bartos is technically right because, well, let me take the corner and then we do the history lesson. So some of those tanks were actually from Czechoslovakia, as the Germans, the time they invaded Poland, they didn't really have them available in the necessary numbers. However, they captured quite a lot from Czechoslovakia when they annexed it, and they used those to invade Poland as well in pretty large numbers. I mean, geographically, they came from Germany, but quite a lot of them were actually Czech vehicles.
What? Wasn't it from the German part of Czechia and Moravia?
No, not really. They were basically the things that the Germans requisitioned from Czechoslovakia after they annexed the entire country. So no, it's not solely stuff from the Sudetenland. How is Vitor is almost a minute behind? He was probably the one that went to the pits. Probably the AI did some AI things somewhere in the back. He really got the fastest lap. However, he's also quite far down the order. That's a great question, Jan. I have no idea where he actually finished. I don't remember the results from the top of my head for every race. And in general, not either, especially for drivers like Vitoris. That's, I mean, he kind of familiar, but I wouldn't say he's become much of a big shot. Well, you mean his age? Well, to be fair, in this series, pretty much everyone was. Like, most of the drivers that drove in the series were 16, 17 at the time, so they were all born 88, 89, except for a few older guys. Yeah, Perez was, well, he was already a bit more than, like, he was like 16 and a half or something. Like, Checo is actually, I think, yeah, he's a few months older than me, actually. But he had the balls to come all the way here to Germany from Mexico without, well, with broken English and zero German at only 16. Yeah, then he was 15. I just said that Checo is actually only a few months older than me. No, not at all. Like, this was basically a feeder series below Formula 3, so pretty much on the same level where you have Formula 4 nowadays. So this was for the guys that just grew out of karting and wanted to start in open wheels, and Formula BMW was the series for that. And there's been a couple of others, but this was one of the more big ones, and it had like different series. Like there was an Asian series, there was a British series, there was a German series. So this was basically for the young guys who just came out of the karting and start their career in open wheel. Like if I remember correctly, Checo's story is actually pretty much like this. Like he did karting back in Mexico, but he obviously wanted to make the switch to open wheel proper, but Europe has had, probably still has, some better possibilities to do that, so he just came over to Europe to start in Formula BMW. Nah, you know, the Formula 4, to get to Formula 1 was pretty much the same throughout the early 2000s as it is today. It was less fleshed out, so there's been more kind of feeder series like similar to this. Like there's been also Formula Renault 2.0, then the other one I think that was Formula Renault 3.5 or something. Though that was 3.5 was one higher. Last 5 minutes and the AI starts to become super fast. And he already made contact with me. So yeah, there's been a bunch of different feeder series back then. It wasn't so unified and so fleshed out of a ladder than today. So ultimately, in my opinion, back in these days, younger drivers had better chances, or rather not better, but more chances to prove themselves in various feeder series than today. So, I mean, what's there today? National Formula 4 and that's it. Back then was stuff like Formula Ford. It's pretty big in the UK. Formula BMW. Formula Renault 2.0, all that stuff. So a lot more options that young drivers had than today. But that's just my opinion. Some more contact. Man, are these guys dangerous? That's gonna be 2 more laps.
What? Okay, they almost had more chance. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I absolutely get the point, and I
Fully agree with that. Like, even in the, well, not to that extent as in the early 2000s slash late 90s, but like two, 2010s, like for example, Max Verstappen, he also came without F2 or GP2. I can't remember, can't follow when it was called what. But the point is that he came from Formula Renault 3.5 as well, without the usual Formula 2 GP2 path. And so I honestly don't know because I don't follow it. If that series is still existing, it's still running or not. But you don't really hear that happening. Not well before you could, after so now 2020s, late 2010s, you don't hear that anymore. Everyone comes from Formula 2, and that's that. No, I'm almost sure that Max came from Formula Renault 3.5 or 3.0 or whatever it was called. I'm almost certain he came from that, not straight from F3. I'm a little busy to look it up. Yeah, so that series died already. Okay. So that basically today leaves us with Formula 4 on the regional level, Formula 3 on regional and international level, and Formula 2 and Formula 1. And that's about it. So I guess all the classic feeder series are already dead, which is kind of sad. Because there was a lot higher chance for, yeah, crash into me on a straight line, you fucking idiot. Yeah, I want to see what happened. Well, guess who's gonna get a penalty for that? Buemic didn't save me. He crashed into me. He saved me from a win. He definitely saved me from winning the race. Hegewald, so, no, wait, that's Buemi. Then it was this guy who crashed me, right? Buemi was, yeah, you're right. Buemi was the guy who actually drove into me that stopped me from spinning out completely. That means that it was this Vanker that got me killed. That's Hegewald. I need a mod that allows me to flip the bird on him, because I would just do that. Yeah, I noticed. So it was Hegewald that actually tried to kill me and almost managed. Every time I have a good race, then somebody on the last laps just kills me. This is just unbelievable. It's actually almost like league racing, you know? You're having a good race, there's one of the more challenged ones that takes you out. Well, at least we still got a P4 out of it, which after penalty is gonna be a P3, so there's that. So I need to check if it was this guy or Hegewald. But other than that, this wasn't too bad. So hopefully the next one's gonna be even better. I actually wanna check the calendar to see what's next. The next race is gonna be Spa. That's another very interesting track. Especially for this. Basically you just set up for full power and go for it. I guess pretty much that's what's going to happen.
So yeah, this was round 2 of Formula BMW 2005. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you at the next one. Goodbye.